Okay, all right. Hi, everybody. Today we have SomaARah, and I'm Christy, and we're going to be talking about our Starseed mission and all the things that we've been kind of going through and things that we want to look forward to for our mission work and growing up, our childhood, and the things that we do as well in this reality that we enjoy doing. That's kind of our mission and just kind of weighing things out too. Like, is this, is this feels right or does this feel right? So that's kind of a question a lot of people ask, like, am I on the right track? So that's something that we ask ourselves as well. So, SomaARah, you want to take the floor? How are you doing?
Hi, Christy. Really good to sit down with you and connect. We definitely haven't done enough of that, and I'm delighted to be here. Thank you so much.
Thank you.
And um, what a lifetime we chose to be born on this planet now, with
Yeah,
everything that's going on. Like
yeah,
it's just crazy, the
yeah.
stuff that's happening.
I know. Yeah, lately, huh, too. It's been pretty heavy. The I can't even watch like the news stuff anymore because it's just so negative. A lot of it is like it's fed the negative mostly, like pushing that on us, so we stay in that fear mode. So it's not watching it. That's best for my energy. Yeah.
Yeah, I try and stay away from, for a long time now, I've stayed away from reading papers or we don't even have a TV here
Oh,
by
okay.
cho by choice. And I'm in the shared house with five or six other people, and none of us want a TV, so we don't have one. And I'm in rural Ireland, but I do watch a lot of social medias, interviews and podcasts and things like that. So I do get news. It's just not mainstream.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, so do you want me to ask the questions on the go first with that? Because we was gonna ask each other about those questions. Maybe so you go first and then I'll go after you because you had to kind of ready the list and everything too.
Yes.
Yeah.
So will I ask you some questions first?
Mm-hmm.
Or
Yeah.
yeah?
Yeah.
Okay. So I find you very intriguing. And you're very similar to me in the aspect that you are a lone kind of wolf, a lone wolf, and
Mm-hmm.
I like that. I think that is um a trait that is very self-protective, and I think we have that instilled in us before we were born or when we were born. I think that's something that we've come in with um that is going against the grain, and it doesn't contain the aspect of wanting to fit in. Like we don't care if we
Right.
fit in or because we
Exactly.
just are being. So one of my questions for you, one of them is, um, well, I have several questions, but I'll start with your childhood and what was that like, and what kind of spiritual experiences did you have?
In childhood, I noticed that, like when looking back now, because I was searching for if I was like ever abducted or in the programs or, even like that, they talk about the GATE program, the GATE, the gifted and talented, the kids but they did that to all, I think throughout the United States and probably I'm not sure if they did that in Ireland or not, with searching for children with ESP, with psychic abilities. Did they do that too?
I
Hmm.
know because well I'm Irish, but I have an English accent because I grew up in London. But I know that they definitely I do have very vague memories of that. And there were people that came over from America, teachers that came over from America, that looking back now were very suspect at the
Yeah,
time, although I didn't realize it. But
yeah.
Veronica actually. Veronica Bartolini said to me that I'm one of the super soldiers. And I'm kind of doing that to it. I'm holding it back because I don't really want to know. Although she did say that a lot of that memories will come back this year. So, um, but and I'm not really, I don't go public with that, you
Yeah.
know.
Do you feel, because I watched some videos on that because they're coming up with it more on some of the common things because it's like the CIA was looking for the gifted, but it's not it's an emotional intelligence, it's high psychic ability more so than it is intellect too, but it's mostly they're looking for kids in all different areas that would be have ESP or dreams. So they would give us all these different tests, different, all kinds of stuff that we thought was normal too, you know? So they were testing in all categories, I think, looking for certain children that had different abilities. And then so they haven't figured out, like, maybe that's how we got picked in the programs, you know, like with the super soldier or the remote viewing or the my labs, you know, so that's how maybe that's how we were categorized, you know, with those programs, a lot of us. So that's what I feel because a lot of because I that's the best way really to find the star seeds too is to you know to and then they gave us like that pink drink, you know, that's like a little chalky, it's like pink, it looked like Pepto-Bismol, but it didn't taste like that, it was like just like that. And then it seems like that erased the memories. That's what they said. It has like a thing in it that erases the memories or it makes you relax. It makes the person, it's like a truth serum too, something in there that's like a truth serum. Or it
I do
helps the person
remember that.
relax. Yeah, a lot of people do. A lot of people
Yeah.
remember taking that pink drink. And then
My
also those
mum,
headphones with the tones.
I
Remember
remember
those?
my mum giving it to me.
Really? The
Yeah,
pink?
a
Uh-huh.
pink drink,
Yeah.
Pepto something.
Well, Pepto-Bismol, but that's separate than the it's chalky like that. But at school they gave it to us and it tastes like that. It's cough syrup or something, but it's the consistency of that Pepto-Bismol, that pink chalky. And and I thought it was like for dentists, something that showed where your teeth are dirty, you know? Like that's maybe what they told us. Like their teeth was so that would show up because they usually would do that. They would give us that drink and then have teeth cleaning at school. Did they do
I
that?
remember that. I
Yeah.
remember taking it at school. And
Yeah.
also I took the dentist as well. I took it at
Yeah.
um,
Mm-hmm.
yeah.
So what wonder what they would have been doing with that. So I think that that's how it starts, you know, because it's um a lot of stuff is erased and I feel like they they tagged us then, you know, during that time and categorized us. So even though I was closed up as a child because I was so shy, I just was introverted, you know, and I didn't like to I was not social really. It was really difficult for me to fit in at all. And so I don't know why I was so shy. I just felt everything, you know? So I was really sensitive with people's moods and emotions. And my dad, his side is Native American, and my mom's side is German, English. And she's really strict, stern, kind of that kind of mother. And then my dad worked all the time. So we just played outside, me and my sister. I have a twin sister, you know, too. So
And
so mhm,
so that's an interesting mix.
mhm,
My mum was Irish, my dad was German, probably a German Nazi, and I was born in Namibia in South Africa, and I grew up in London, but I live in Ireland now. So that
yeah,
it's
that's a lot, huh? That's a big lot of big energies, you know, to amplify, like a lot of amplification energies for you, you know, to place you in. So like, um, for me, it, you know, like later on we moved to like Georgia. and then back to Oklahoma. So really, I've lived in Oklahoma my whole life, and really just kind of in, I guess, in one place. Maybe that's kind of good too, that they want to keep people in one place. So, but they can find us anywhere, so that doesn't matter. Um, but like I don't I remember feeling a lot of stuff, but I'm not sure. I think I kept a lot of stuff. I brushed it aside or something like that. It seemed like in childhood, like I haven't. I felt stuff, and I felt it might be feeling things too from the programs in these other aspects, of me too, because I don't know, a lot of stuff. Um, it's a lot of stuff. It feels like things that I can't really, I can see, but it's not like easy to understand. I don't know. Um, I don't know. Maybe it was that time because I'm born in 76, so during the 80s, kind of everything wasn't really talked about too, like
Yeah,
things.
I know. Back in the 80s, no one talked about anything.
Mm-mm.
Um, even going to a therapist or a psychologist was frowned upon
Yeah.
and looked down on.
Hmm.
Um, and I had a very unusual childhood because I didn't go to secondary school. I
Oh.
was kept out of it by the Pleiadians, a force of energy, a wall of energy that stopped me going in. So and I had a lot of trauma, a lot of abuse, but at the same time, a lot of spiritual experiences with the Pleiadians and Jesus. And from the age of 12, I didn't have any secondary school, and I would just stay home and read books by the likes of Edgar Casey
Mm.
and Doris
Wow.
Stokes.
Wow.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Um, and then when I was 16, I left home. So I had really unusual childhood. Looking back, it was a real kind of foundation, a lot of spiritual experiences,
Yeah.
especially in Ireland. I
Yeah.
used to, yeah, because we used to come over for the summers. And when we emigrated back home, back to Ireland from Namibia, um, it was such a different environment for me. I used to be out playing in the garden in Ireland, and I used to be talking to the fairies and all the nature spirits, and my granny actually would lock me. My granny was very scared of me, and
Oh.
she was a formidable woman. She was very strong.
Oh yeah.
Point of being very violent with kids. She wouldn't take any nonsense. She would often whack us with a
I saw
walking.
that. Yeah. Let's see, some kind of a stick thing. Yeah. Like
Yes. Oh, yes.
broom-like looking thing. Yeah. She was very mean. Yeah. You would go hide. Go hide like
Yeah.
that. Yeah. Definitely. And I could see you like because you would talk to everything like in the fairies and the all the stuff and the trees and go you know get in the trees and just play and you're talking to everything, and singing. I hear you singing, and everything. So lots of joy and
Yeah.
happiness. And she
Yeah.
wasn't that. She didn't have that. So she didn't like that. Any kind of joy, from a child, especially. Yeah, that those books is kind of like an escape, too,
Yeah.
because you have a lot of
Absolutely.
angelic, you have that frequency, the Pleiadian angelic frequency that's high, that's singing high, like up, and so you just like to be outside, and it's lots of, I just see like the green grass a lot, so it's like um lots of fields and stuff, like just being outside all the time. So um yeah, but you never, I don't think you ever got in trouble. Like you didn't look for trouble, So, and really innocent. You were real innocent, like, a real innocence with everything.
Mhm. You're so
Yeah.
spot on, Christy.
Yeah.
I'd be out there playing and singing and talking to everything and seeing a lot of nature spirits. And my granny was terrified by it. She didn't know what to make of me. Um, And now, of course, since she's been in spirit, I get on very well with her. And my granddad was totally opposite to her.
Oh,
Um, but anyway, I want to hear about you and your work and
okay.
your
Yeah.
Starseed mission. And I'm fascinated by your books
Okay.
because I
Yeah.
really feel really feel the energy of the alien beings that you're drawing. Like that
Mm-hmm.
really comes across.
Yeah. I have so many that I've done too. Like all these books, I wanted to put my artwork in them, so like showing you how those like galactic emissaries could, with it's like Pleiadian, Arcturian. It's like a whole council of feline and everything. So yeah, I did put all my artwork into these, and um I just started doing it. I don't know, I didn't have any kind of organization at first with it because I just wanted to. I had so much artwork, over the years since 2015 that I started just drawing all this, like all kinds of stuff, all this, symbols and beings and stuff. So I just had to get it all out there in the books. And I felt like and after the conference, like I needed to do that. I needed to put my artwork in the books, and then I would just make sense of it later, like with everything. So I've learned a lot because I self-published on Amazon, and I've made my Electra books too with the programs. So I have those, but yeah, the ones that are like the alien stuff with the light language, it just fills 72 pages of different pieces, all of it, like all of those, you know, so
That's so
with the
beautiful.
symbols and everything. So yeah, just it's a go. I think from being a galactic emissary, I've had so much contact with the different beings and their languages, and I've always asked for infusions from the Pleiadians, Arcturians, Syrians, and the higher vibrational beings to give me like downloads and infusions of their languages so I can share it through my artwork. So I would do that quite a
And
bit. Like
when did that start, Christy?
after 2015, I started to do that, and so then I would get a variety of all these languages and the beings and stuff. So that's why it's all different with that. And so many, sometimes I'll fill up a whole book, of drawing and stuff, and then I'm like, what am I gonna do with all of this? It's just sitting in the closet in notebooks, and I have to do something with it. How am I gonna? It's too much to sell every single piece of it too, So I just would decided to put it in books. That's gonna be the best and most fastest for me because I just if things move too slowly, then I lose interest. If it's too difficult for me to, if it's too many steps and too much time to do one little thing, I like a whole bunch of pictures in a fast time, like I move faster with that, and so I just move at my own pace, and that just works best for me, and I put it out there, and sometimes it's ahead of time and people they want a translation in English, but these are frequency symbols, the frequency, so it's not going to be one message, they're all different according to what frequency you can feel and pick up on, and all that. So that's how I explain it to people. And some of the books though, I did put the symbols, and then I've asked ChatGPT to give me an English translation, just so people can see what it does mean in English, so that's out there as well with the books, so I did that too. And it's all high vibration stuff, stuff that's helped me to explain it more, with the translation in English, explain what all each symbol might be. But yeah, so yeah, I've been working on that since the conference, since that conference I had a children's book that I did to begin with, and that was kind of for me to show, to help um um get it here. It's for me um to help like little kids and stuff because it's helping sensitive kids set energetic boundaries, so it's um not it's setting boundaries so you don't give all your energy away to everybody else and putting yourself first, and realizing that you're most important, so and your energy is most important, and using crystals and everything too. So this is for children, like introducing to crystals and talking about like crystals. My crystals protect me, and I'm connected to all things in nature. So this is like how you were, as a child, like that. And you was really free. And then, so this is how you were as a child with with your freedom, being out there by yourself and talking to everything. And then the lower vibration would come in and try to uh, cut through. It's like uh, your grandma was like a dark line that would try to break through that or something, like interrupt the frequency. So I think that's done also on purpose a little bit too, to help you deal with people, that helps us when we have to encounter the darker, reality of growing up and stuff, and how people were afraid to. There was no intuitive talking like that. Nothing at all was ever talked about with being intuitive or seeing spirits. That wasn't even, that was not, that wasn't even a topic ever. It was mostly just the 3D stuff. And then I would go ride my bicycle by myself, and then I would imagine like driving or riding a bike, by a motorcycle, or going fast. So I would um, and then I would play Barbies a lot. Um, and I would always kind of be wanting them to have like a love affair, like my Barbies and stuff. And so I always kind of seeked that too, like some love, a deep love, So I know that was something as well that I seeked out to feel, to feel that deep, because I'm Cancer Sun, Cancer Moon, and Venus and Cancer. So it's like a deep emotional um need to feel um like a deep love, um something like that. It's so it's difficult to find that, So I've learned to just focus that energy, that creative energy would be toward um whatever I would be passionate about at the time, which is usually like artwork in some form, some form of being creative. So yeah, so what was yours? You want to talk about yours too? So we'll just kind of go back and forth with that. That way we kind of come out together on that part of it. So yeah, when growing up, after you said you went to when you got out when you were 16, and then what did you find after that?
Oh goodness. I from the age of around, I guess, 16, I left home. I moved to my sister's dad's town, village, and that was like a small boating um seaside town, very beautiful.
Yeah.
It was in Cornwall, Falmouth, it was
Oh,
called.
nice.
And I lived there for a while, and I had a really a job that I loved, working in a cafe. And for about a year, things were just going really smoothly, and I was just kind of enjoying my life. I was doing a lot of I ended up doing a lot of partying and alcohol and
Yeah.
drugs, and up till about the age of 23.
Hmm.
Um, and then one day I was doing a lot of drugs and different
Hmm.
anything,
Yeah.
and alcohol, and really partying. I was really very much a party person back then. And
Hmm.
then that was from the age of 16 to 23. And then I had a really, I had taken something, I don't even know what it was. A friend had given me something, um, and it caused me to have a really major fit. and I was in a very expensive house, and they had this. It wasn't old, it was modern, it was new, but it was a solid sink in the bathroom, and I was having a fit, and I'd whacked my chin on. I was fully conscious, but I couldn't control my fit,
Oh.
and I whacked my chin on the sink, and it was thick sink, ceramic, and I bit my tongue, and then I kind of fell over onto the floor and eventually stopped shaking. But after that, the moments after that, I thought I have to stop this. This is dangerous now.
Hmm.
So I got cleaned up. Um, I wasn't really addicted to anything. I was just kind
Yeah.
of,
Just doing it for fun. Hmm.
yeah,
Hmm.
yeah.
Hmm.
Then I got cleaned up and moved away to a big city in Devon, Portsmouth. No, was it Portsmouth? No, it was Plymouth. And then got cleaned up, and I started to go to the spiritualist churches, and because we have a lot of them in the UK. There's none here in Ireland, but in the UK there's a lot. And then I started to develop mediumship and got into healing, and discovered accidentally that I could heal my friend's um, headache.
Oh.
So I got into healing and media, did a lot of mediumship training. And then I went for about 10 years, I was doing that. And then I went into the Buddhist community for about 5, 6 years, became a Buddhist, I had shaved my hair. I was going to become a Buddhist nun, and I didn't. I went to Nepal and volunteered as a charity, in a charity um, for homeless families in Nepal, which is really different to homeless families here, because they're street kids, and they're not street kids in they're street kids in hovels, you know, um, and they really have nothing, and yet they're so happy. So
Mm.
I went from that into I moved into the shamanic. Um, and for yeah, so and then it was during the shamanic work, or just before it, that I a guy that I didn't know, I didn't know him at the time, but he is well known. He sent me an email saying, hi, I think we should work together, and the Pleiadians gave me your name and blah blah blah, and I was like, this guy is crazy. And then 3 days, 4 days later, at the very most, I began to channel the Pleiadians,
Oh.
and particularly Ashtar. And they turned up. Ashtar was directly behind me. And then to their left, behind him, there was just hundreds of them.
Oh,
There was two.
wow.
Yeah, it was just amazing.
Yeah.
And in the early days of me channeling, it was like taking dictation. And and his name is Joshua Shapiro. But then I started to
Oh,
do the
Joshua. Okay. I know who
yeah,
that is. Hmm.
yeah, very deep,
He has the
very
crystal skulls, right?
yeah,
Yes. Uh-huh.
yeah. He's been such an important part of my awakening and my mission, and the channeling and all of it. And he I don't think he even realizes it. I have said to him quite a few times, you really opened a huge door for me. Um, and I'd because I had such an abusive childhood, um, even when I began channeling the Pleiadians that time, I think that was in 2009, maybe. Um, I had so many memories that I just didn't remember. And I began writing my book at the same time, and all this channeled information. So my book is a combination. My first book is a combination of my childhood memories and the Pleiadian channelings at the time. And then I began to do shamanic work training. And then I began having memories of connecting to them as a child. So my story is very back to front.
Hmm. Yeah. Yeah, and then so like I feel when the difference with the Buddhist and the shamanic seem to go right straight into your heart, to the core of your being of what you were seeking, like something like that. And then because that connected you with Ashtar, with your star family, with channeling. So it was like your heart connection opened up with the shaman, with being shamanic journey. And I can see you doing like the drumming and all that, and singing, but it's like the chanting, singing like the shamans do, the journey and stuff like that, and helping people with shamanic journeying, with uh finding their way or finding, something like that. Did you do that too with the like circles of teaching and stuff too? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, yeah, we did. We
Yeah.
did it. And then when I did, because I did a lot of training that led up to the shamanic stuff. I did a lot of I trained as a holistic therapist,
Okay.
and um did a lot of healing courses, did Reiki, did yeah, a lot of stuff. I can't even remember the stuff I've done, but then I did the got into the Buddhist stuff, and then the shamanic. But the Buddhist tradition actually comes from the Bon tradition, which originally was shamanic.
Mm.
But I feel in this day and age, in hindsight, looking back, especially with some of the things I've seen about the Dalai Lama, I think the Buddhist tradition has really lost its way. I've seen rumors or reports that the Dalai Lama is very connected to the
Oh, child trafficking and stuff like that. Yeah, I saw that too.
CIA as
Yeah.
well.
Oh yeah. With that, like a plant, like a new age plant. They did do that too. They assigned plants that would be in that would inject into they would inject into the new age and spiritual community so they could infiltrate it, I guess. That's what that happened too with the CIA stuff, They did that. Or they were taken over. Maybe at one time he was pure, but then probably had maybe soul captured or something like that, or takeover of some sort. And then they change. So, um, but yeah, I a lot of stuff too is like seeing realizing that that's the case after all this time, in the schools. And so all this stuff is being corrupted, like it wasn't, but now like seems like how far back, maybe since did it happen like in the 50s that they started changing the school books, or was it in the 70s, or they started changing the school books and changing education to where each kid was going to be tagged like we're all processed, and categorized of what our abilities would be, in these different tests and stuff. So yeah, and then I think they would put those people in place just to that would kind of gravitate, and then they'd be led by the spiritual community, but their message is half true, so or twisted a little bit. So you don't ever get the full truth, or you're led by a false person, So yeah, so it is best just to kind of follow your own instinct, like you was searching for what felt what the deepest core to the core was, like you keep searching and searching and like, okay, this now I'm fulfilled. Now I'm going to move on to this. Now I'm going to move on to this, So you're just kind of getting all of it gathered. Do you ever do like group tours to like the stone circles and shamanic group tours? Do you ever do that?
That's something I would love to do. So I definitely see that in the future,
Yeah.
especially in Ireland, because Ireland's got really a lot of sacred sites.
Mm-hmm. That's what I'm
Like
seeing, like that. And you doing your shamanic journey in there at those sites, because that'll amplify everybody's energy too, and everybody's insight and visions of stuff, So having like a group mission there, like group tour that you lead. So that's something that you might do. I don't know the weather, but probably when it's warmer, like that.
yeah, the weather really affects everything in Ireland because everyone kind of locks themselves away for the winter.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
slows down, kind of retreats back into their homes and doesn't do much for the winter because
Hmm.
it's
Too
not
cold.
pleasant.
No, too cold. Is
Yeah.
it winter right now?
Yeah.
Yeah, it's winter here too, so it's the same. Yeah, so that gives you time to kind of think of that as well, you know.
Where are you, Christy?
You know where Texas is in the United States?
Yeah.
I'm right
Oh,
above Texas in Oklahoma.
okay.
Yeah, so it's right in the center of the United States. So central. Tornado Alley is what it's called. We got lots of tornadoes, you know? Yeah. So we're used to that. Like I'm used to going outside and cutting them, you know, like I energetically cut them apart and break them apart, you know? So a lot of people get scared and stuff, but we're used to, like Oklahoma people are used to the tornadoes, you know? So yeah, I looked back on my childhood and saw that like at 5, that's what had kind of occurred. There was like a tornado that was going on, and that's when the Zetas, the Greys, used that time frame to do an abduction at 5 years old, and that's when I was taken into the SSP, you know, for that George Bush Senior, his whole 20 and back program that he just kind of went along with that 20 and back with me. You know, he was my handler, programmer, owner, all of it through that one mission, you know. So he had my consciousness, fractal of my consciousness in a 5-year-old body, and then just used it throughout that time, you know, like was putting me in honey pots and trained in psionics. And so I had all of this. So that's maybe why in this reality I was picking up on that energy as well, because I continued on at the same age, you know, as that, just like leading 2 lives almost in the same time frame. So maybe that's what kind of confused me with a lot of stuff in this reality, because I could sense it, something going on, because it was really he was really strict, and um I never acted up or disappointed him or things like that. And he told me to call him father, you know, so I have a connection to him in other times, you know. So I
Did you
guess,
say George Bush?
yeah, the senior, you know,
Okay.
the senior. Yeah. And so um it goes back to other times too, like because I think he's has the German something with the ancestry, not in direct line, but some energetic, you know, other timelines. And so, but I guess it was something with being there's something that he had was looking for, you know, so he must have been uh searching or waiting, because I didn't see anybody else in that place. So it's like he was just working with me. And I know he had other people, other kids and stuff too, but he worked one on one with me and doing all kinds of mind splitting, you know, programming. So I would be a honeypot assassin, so I could give a psionic attack. So those kinds of things. And then I would also see like Aleister Crowley, his aspect, you know, would be there too to give me like injections of George Bush Senior's. It's um, his lupine DNA, his lupine. He can shapeshift into a werewolf, you know?
Yeah.
So lots of
So,
lots of that happened in these other realities.
I wanted to share something with you, Christy. So,
Hmm.
I, my understanding of what you're saying my understanding for the reason of it on a higher level is because we are galactics, and we've had several lifetimes where we have lived, on the Pleiades star system, Syrians, all of it, where we've moved around the universe from lifetime to lifetime. And at one point, there was a call put out for assistance to help save Mother Earth and humanity. And a lot of us, as being galactics, came in to this lifetime now, and also previous lifetimes, to but we've been targeted from lifetime to lifetime to lifetime to lifetime, even with some type of technology device that tracks us
Yeah.
right back to Atlantis,
Yes.
because our energy is different because we're galactic beings. We're not from here. We don't fit in. We
Right.
don't understand this planet. We don't understand humanity. So we've come here to assist in this time, in this lifetime now. So it seems to be like I do see things from a very expanded point of view, which sometimes is a very positive thing, and sometimes it's a very other people can perceive it as a very negative because they're looking in a different direction. They're looking over there when I'm looking over there and seeing a very expanded view, very expanded perspective, um, which I think is a positive thing, but you have to be up there to see that view.
Yeah.
But does that resonate with you, like what I'm saying?
Yeah, definitely so. Like being tagged or so back, maybe even in the Atlantean time. You think so? Something with that? Since you had mentioned that, like a tagged my um some soul essence, possibly maybe a fractal of me um that he had captured or so, or something with that. I don't not something's captured because he did capture it, and used it, and I think he still does use it, like in the different like on Mars in a cloning center. Like he's taken me to that place, but he shows me to call him father, and like so that's he's rewriting this program that's over here, like call me, you can call me father. And that's all I knew was to call him father. And he was only adult that was around, and so he would always come and pick me up and take me to the next place, which was the dark places, like going on honeypots and assassins, but he would do it in these other altars. So all I had was like this front memory of him being like a fatherly and um caretaker, but not like loving, just the person that was there, like that. So he
Like a
um
caretaker.
yep, yeah,
Yeah.
and so I would look out for him and wait for him and go with him, and not, I don't see the mean. I could see it. He would show me how he would be to different people like a mob boss, but he didn't. I never acted up. I knew not to act up. I
Did
did
you
what he said.
trust him? Did
Huh?
you trust him?
Yeah, I did. I would go with him wherever he wanted to and do whatever he wanted to, because I knew that there was no other way. You either do it or you do it, there wasn't another option, so you just do it. And yeah, just it wasn't forced. I just did it, so I just felt comfortable with his energy too with that. So um and I always see him like in the 1985, how he looked in with um kind of glasses sometimes, but is before when he's like running for presidency, So it was like when he was, I think probably 50s or 60s he was, he was younger, but he stayed the same look throughout that whole time to me. And um and he made sure I did good and put me into like these mothers of darkness that places, and then the military for training, and then so is all these places that just made me very strong, so, and not to I didn't depend on, maybe that's why I'm kind of, I think, I don't know if it has an influence on this life, but I can still feel and sense him, and I can see him in my mind, as that. So I know it, that I did have that interaction with him, Um, and then I would also see that he would tell me like at age 7 or so that he was gonna come and pick me up, and like it was an old Oldsmobile kind of 80s car, and I would see like driving with him, sitting next to him in the seat, and just going with him, and he would wherever we were going. I don't even know, and so I would see doing that too. Um, so lots of lots of energy connection. And then I did a hypnosis session with Anne Marie, and then I confronted him in that hypnosis session because he came forward and he said his name was Satan, but he was just being um this was his way of really being when people didn't do what he wanted, or when things was not going to how he's wanting. He changes into this uh, evil force, and black goo kind of person, whatever. But that's not what he would. That's what he would show me that he was going to be like if I didn't um, do what he wanted, So I always just did what he wanted, so I didn't have to face
Yeah.
that.
And so
Yeah.
you, because of your experiences with them, have you connected in with Laura Eisenhower because of her
Uh, I
family link?
haven't I haven't talked to her. I saw her at the conference,
Yeah.
um, but I haven't connected with her or anything like that. I didn't see any presidents or anything like that at the places. It was just him and his own um reality. He only brought people in that he wanted them to experience me, and my abilities and favors, and stuff, so he could get favors that way. Um, but I never went to that I remember. But I have other 20 and backs, I have other missions and my labs and all this other stuff that I've been, and like the dark castles and stuff, like they use me for that ability, that honeypots assassin, psionic assassin, like getting into their mind and taking over, their mind, and
Yeah.
whatever, giving them a aneurysm, or however, like they taught me how to take over the body, I guess. And um so that's what I kind of, and I could give messages that way. So that's kind of what they've always used me on.
So I have a question for you, Christy.
Mhm.
Like, who is who is behind that? Would you say it was CIA? Because I believe it's CIA and those
Mhm.
agencies,
Yeah.
or black ops, black military ops, and my understanding of all of that negative agenda is that they're run at the very top level by reptilians or negative alien beings.
Yeah. Because it's just that's just the name of that CIA, because he was head of that, but that was like in this reality. I think they just positioned him there to leave the door open, so he could just leave the door open and look the other way so things could get by, you know. So, but his father, they're like ancient beings. Their energy is. It's like reptilian, like Draco, part AI, ancient rituals, like him and his dad, Preston, his George Bush Sr. and his dad. But his kids and stuff, they're not, they don't even come in the picture, his intelligence and his dad's intelligence is different. They're more like ancient schools, like I would say bloodline, it traces back way far, like um the uh Bulgaria, or whatever, the some mafia, some bloodline, whatever that would be, it's a ancient bloodline that they would come from, that do those ancient rituals, and it's not good, like I don't think he's ever been good, really. George Bush
Okay.
Sr. I don't see that he's ever had experienced a good nothing. No, I don't see that. They don't, so it must be something with him that's uh it's just who he is, that they, like a reptilian being, they wouldn't have to have that,
Yeah. And
Yeah.
um that leads me on to my next question. like all those experiences you've had, and I've had I've had very similar experiences that so I just keep holding the SSP stuff kind of at bay with myself, but eventually that is going to explode. Um, and I'm not really looking forward to that, but and maybe it won't. Maybe
Mhm.
I'll kind of escape it, but the more memories, you know. But I do have some memories, but not like you. But that leads me on to my next question. Why you? Like, I mean, I understand why you, but what is your starseed mission?
Like, how with the memories and stuff, like how did I remember that part of it
No,
or
no, I
what?
mean, I mean, what is, because I understand that you have this lifetime. I understand that you've been targeted because you're galactic being that's in a physical body,
Yeah.
and you've been targeted and tracked and traced since probably Atlantis or Lemuria. Um, and so when I first started to connect with Laura, I kept seeing this image in my mind of a group of us, and I was there as well, and I still see it whenever I connect with her. But um, there's a group of us that came in, and I see us coming down, like
Mm-hmm.
we're coming down, and we're not even on the ship, but we must be. Um, but we just come down as a group of beings, and we're
Okay.
coming down to the
Yeah.
universe.
Mm-hmm.
So my question is to you
Mm-hmm.
is like I understand why those experiences are there for you because it's a battle between light and dark,
Oh,
between the
yeah.
war between positive alien beings and negative alien beings. And for those that want the science, I would recommend for those listening who want the science, I would recommend Greg Braden because he is a scientist who's proving all of this stuff, this woo-woo stuff. So I would recommend checking him out. But what is your starseed mission? Because I know that we're all individuals and they've said that we are as individual as our fingerprints
Mm-hmm.
with our missions. So
Yeah.
and that is really, to me, that's really unique. If we are as unique as our fingerprints within our missions are very individual. We may carry similar things that we need to do, but to have that individuality of a fingerprint mission,
Mm-hmm.
like what is your
Yeah.
mission?
Well, yeah, but I asked for a reading from Sean Bond, and he had just recently said that I was the third Archangel Michael soul essence, like his soul essence.
Hmm.
So like the third out of all of them. So that's that I've always gravitated and resonated with Archangel Michael. So I would feel like that is like his part of the warrior, aspect. And I know that I have Lyran and Syrian and all these star seeds uh, aspects of me, DNA, that I carry with me out of all of the realities that I live in, but I remember when I was in Lyra, and then my Lyran father and Pleiadian mother, and then at that time they had asked about the Earth mission, if I would want to come here. That's when it was presented at that time, and so I didn't want to at first because I didn't want to leave home. But I guess it was important for me because I was a hybrid, between Pleiadian and Lyran, that I could bring my frequency here, so that Archangel Michael, the Lyran, the Pleiadian, all these star seeds that I would have within me that I carry that I bring to here, So it's a warrior to fight for the truth of exposing um, things that aren't uh, I guess, the truth for the reality, the truth for the frequency, the illusion of things. So it's breaking through that as much as possible. Like, and me here planted, but it's like I'm like a anchor here, having this experience, not a whole lot of activity happening, but But in these other places, I'm able to stretch out, like be on the three-eye atlas, an aspect there, or be here, all the stuff that I can have these different missions here while I'm anchored in this reality, and I can bring those frequencies down into the earth grid and push out this darkness that is, that's why I was called here, to do, so that's going to be the main thing, is get the job done so I can go home, so that's probably why I was inserted into the darkest places, so I could uh expose it through my frequency or through the experience. Then I could some point it would be able to be found out or tracked or traced or even exposed as I remember it, because I remember it, and a lot of people don't remember their things. So that's another reason, like I can remember and talk about it. So yeah, it's kind of different layers of stuff, but yeah, that's it. It's bringing my warrior mentality here and dealing with the negativity of this and the density and fighting through it, and still remaining like humble and in this reality, and also experiencing having a child with severe autism, so I have all of these cards here and then all of these cards here, so there's so much happening. So it's, and then channeling and doing my artwork is an escape for me. It's brings me happiness. So that's what I enjoy doing the most, is connecting with my higher aspects, the star family and stuff like that. Um, so yeah, all of that really.
Wow.
Yeah, a lot. I know it's a lot to sort through when you look at it in that way. But
And
we're all like that. I know. We didn't just come here for the easy life, not at all.
I know that when I was doing my shamanic course in Galway in Ireland, all it was really tough going.
Yeah,
And all of and that was where I discovered my mission was in a shamanic journey. And with all of my spiritual experiences, the ones that are really profound, I never speak about them for years. I always just kind of am processing it,
yeah.
but that was where I discovered, sorry, I lost complete track
Of
of
your
what.
mission, of your mission.
Yes, that
Mm-hmm.
was where I discovered my mission in a shamanic journey. Um, yeah.
And
Oh,
it
I
was
was going
hard
to
to
say,
talk about, and it was hard to talk about the things that you saw. You didn't really want to talk about it, but
yeah,
you talked about it since then, or
I
not
have.
all? Yeah, so it's helped open it up and release it from you when you talk about it. Yeah. So
Yeah.
it's, so with like with the SSP, or however you want to open up and see, that's just whenever you're ready, and no rush either. It's when it comes open, that's when you see the things and process it a little bit like a puzzle piece, and then you start to ask questions of things, so that's when you're ready and you can process it a lot easier when you see it, and then you can ask questions then when it comes up, it's a lot easier. That's how it was for me, because I took Reiki in 2011, and then I decided, because I wanted to help my son with his stomach issues, digestion and stuff like that. So I started taking Reiki. I went to a teacher, and same teacher throughout the whole time from 2011 to 2013. So I went all the way to the Karuna Reiki master, and then after she gave me the fire serpent symbol, and then it's like activated all of my um opened up all the doors in my mind, so that's what happened. After that, then I had the Reiki symbol, so I didn't go into any kind of psychosis or nothing like that. It helped go to the core of where trauma began and it opened it up and then slowly opened up and working through the healing process of things. And and I went through the dark night of the soul, and um that was so dark too, those times, when I was first waking up, and I just really I didn't that was really dark. But I was drawing a lot then, and asking lots of questions, but I felt like it was a lot of attacks happening, astral attacks going on too. Like I opened up the channels or the door, so yeah, I had to, um, I guess, I don't know, maybe I defeated those things or faced them. Maybe I faced them all, because it I defeated that. I overcame that, the darkness, and exposing it out. I guess find like shining the light on all of maybe that's why I was being attacked, is because I was opening up the door to it, and wasn't supposed to, I wasn't supposed to open the door and remember, but I did remember. And so I don't think that they thought I would remember, and maybe they thought that they could continue to to continue the loop with my aspect, or aspects. But it's now that having the frequency that I carry now, then that kind of put the stop to it, that it's going to be ending. So
So
yeah.
so it's part of your mission to help humanity. I mean, I know
Hmm.
you were talking about anchoring in the higher frequencies, um, which that's what I was going to ask you. Um, so I know that anchoring in the higher frequencies is something that I is also something I need to do as well, as part of my mission. And but because and one of the things I've really struggled with is being grounded, because I learned as a child to live through trauma,
Hmm.
through sexual trauma. To I learned to leave my body.
Yeah.
So I that is a blessing, but it's also kind of a double-edged sword, because what I struggle with really this lifetime is being grounded, being here, being
Yeah.
present in my body, because as soon as I get a problem, I want to leave. And
Hmm.
I know how to do that very well. Um, but so how do you ground?
For me, I do a lot of my Native American. I use my ancestry for that. Like I call upon them to be with me and open up the channels to them, like a frequency, like the radio, and ask them to keep my channel clear and to keep me grounded in this reality, like an anchor, and to communicate with me. Like I say all different things all the time, and um so I do that, and that helps me to be grounded and calmer, in that way, Um, but but yeah, I understand what you're saying with that too. And when you were saying that, then I did see you still doing the shamanic tour and having the drum like at those sacred sites, and that will help you with the grounding that you need to feel. It will release anything that you no longer serves you when you're doing that drum beat, it's like the heartbeat, and that will connect you, and you don't even have to talk about any of this stuff. It will just take it, as you're drumming, and you could just go there by yourself, uh um when it's warm. Anytime you could do it, but I'm just saying, like, to do with to help other people too, to release it and stuff, is doing this shamanic journeys. I think that will be the grounding that you're looking for, because I see it going through you into the earth and then back around and up like loops, So it's kind of doing that. So how do you feel with that?
Great.
Mm-hmm.
It's yeah, yeah, I'm ready for
Mm-hmm.
that.
Yeah, I
I'm
see
ready for
that.
that.
I
Yeah.
see it making you really happy too, like that with because you're out in nature too, and kind of I just keep seeing the stone circles, so I think of that, but I know there's other places that have the stones of any ancient thing that happened, and having the a tour there because you can help other people, like with your mission and stuff too, and teaching because you're a teacher, so um yeah, that's like perfect sounding, and you could do the recordings there. Someone could record it so you could have it, you know, broadcast so you could people could see what you do too, on your journeys. But that's something for sure that you should look into, is being doing the shamanic journeys as a tour, for many people because they look toward that. That's really something people kind of seek out is a shamanic journey, in a trusted person that in a trusted area, location, not going to some other country, something like that too, So, and you could help them intuitively give messages and channelings and stuff like that. So that'll open it up. So that's something good. Yeah, I do the readings and I also do it's readings, but it's more counseling in a way too through my Karuna Reiki. It's counseling through that way. It's tuning in and reading like the energy of the person and finding things that's in their energy field, like I just did with the shaman stuff for you. So it's matching it up with what would be with what would make the person happy, because I see you happy, like you're feeling too. It's a feeling that I look at. So it's really deep what I go into and seeing for the person. So I do that. I do those sessions and stuff online to help others, so yeah, it does. It helps to have someone to talk to, So there's plenty of us that are around, and that many people are looking for someone to help guide them, out of even the darkness, So or even the higher places too, So like all of it. Just having a friend to talk to, you know? Yeah, that will listen is good. So yeah. So
I'd
yeah.
love to do more of these with you. I feel like we've barely touched the surface, and,
Hmm.
and I feel like we could go a lot deeper.
Hmm.
Um,
Yeah. We got one. Are you ready to make this one a wrap so we can um like this so it doesn't go on too long and everything too, and we can keep
I
doing
think
them.
so.
Yeah.
Yeah,
We
yeah,
can keep doing them. That helps too, um it helps us, but it also helps get the word out too of who we are and everything as well, helps people get to know us, me on your channel and you on my channel and stuff too. So yeah. So thank you and it
yeah.
was it was good to meet you at the conference too. We met at the conference and everything. So everything was so busy and stuff too, but it was a lot of fun at the conference, that was a good conference. It
It was
was.
really special. Yeah,
Yeah,
really
it was.
special.
Felt
And
really like comforting, like everybody kind of felt like they was family, like galactic family, like that too. After a couple of days, then I kind of relaxed and kind of was syncing with everybody, So yeah, that was nice. So
are you
it'd
going
be
to do
good
it
to go
next year?
back. Yeah, it'd be good to
Yeah,
go back, and then that way we know each other, Then it's kind of better, after you've met them and now you know to look for them and stuff too. So that'd be good. It'll make it even more like connected after we've already seen each other. So that'd be good. So okay, so let's end this then, and thank you again for doing this with me, and I'll send you the video too so you can put it on your channel and I'll put it in mine. And how do people contact you though? So will you talk about that?
thanks, Christy.
Hmm.
Yeah, I was going to say that I am the founder and CEO of the Cosmic Starseed Academy, and I'm really wanting to do a lot more with that from now on. So I've So if people are interested, Starseeds listening, if you go to my SomaARah.love/Cosmic Starseed Academy page, you can see all about that. And the, yeah, I want to do something every day. And I'm doing something every day except for Tuesday and Thursday, I think. So I have lots of weekly groups. I have a Saturday group, and a Sunday group, and a Wednesday group starting on the 7th of January. Um,
Hmm.
the Saturday and Sunday is free, and those are channeling groups, gatherings for star seeds. And I do channeling there, and we connect and gather and talk about different subjects and experiences that we've had, and really connect. So, yeah.
Yeah,
And
that's
where can
great.
people find you?
You can find me on my YouTube channel under Christy Campbell CC33, and I'm on Facebook and I'm on TikTok and Instagram. So I have all the social medias, and then my email is christy.campbell.11@gmail.com. So that's my email if you wanted to contact me for a session. And my sessions are for an hour, And right now I'm charging the $44 for the hour. Just I know people say stuff like that, so you should raise your prices, but um maybe in time I will. But I'm just I want to help and kind of help myself as in a way too to get because this is my first year after my son's been in the group home too after the year, so this is my first year being independent, so I'm figuring out all my things that I want to do. So I need to do like a website and do all this other stuff too, but it takes me time to go through the all of that. So I do it when I kind of feel feel like it. I get the feeling of it, the sense of it. So yeah. Um yeah. So
Yeah. And I think you should be charging what feels right for you.
exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's good. That's a good thing to say. Thank you for that. Yeah. It feels good. And I'm able to um I live here with my mom and dad right now, so that's this because I have my son here. So it's just moving through life too, like now. So since it's my first year at freedom, away from my son, so now I can finally have my life and do my mission. So it's like I had my mission to raise my son, and now he's in a group home, and now I have another mission. So and it's just starting. So yep. So okay.
Your eyes are just amazing. Every time I look at you, I just feel like I'm looking at the universe.
Oh, really? Like, oh, thank you so much. Like my real color, no contacts. Yeah.
Okay, I was
Okay.
wondering because they're
Yeah.
just wow.
Yeah, they're my real.
Okay, thanks.
Hmm. Hmm. Okay, thank you. Bye-bye.